Part 71. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yet. Chapter 701. It can be heard faintly. Fujiwara-senpai, Oreki has returned. I saw him coming back and immediately came over to report. You are very strong, Ino-san. But Oreki also noticed that although Fujiwara Chika's face was still smiling reluctantly, it seemed as if the word well was about to appear on her forehead. In other words, get angry. Of course he was angry. After being told that her junior Oreki, who had just announced their relationship in a high-profile manner in the morning, had cheated on her in public, Chika immediately went to the first-year staff office, and then wanted to block Oreki's junior class to see what this stinking junior wanted to do. Because how could she help him increase his popularity, but in the end, he directly made her lose face. Could it be that the high-profile relationship of love detective Kinhua ended in green just after it started? This will probably be a stain on her entire high school years. It turned out to be in vain. So I went to the second grade faculty office, but once again I came up empty-handed. Because of the arrival of the student council president and the aura of Shinomiya Kagaya, the surrounding students silently gave way. And Oreki knew that Chika Fujiwara came to see him specifically. He obviously found her to pretend to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but ended up cheating on her in public. She really needs to deal with the problem on her side. After all, Oreki-san has yet to see Ayanokaji-san in this world. Without Ayanokaji-san, no one would implement the civil code correction. But it's not completely impossible. It's better to say that this school has a higher possibility. With a large number of children from the upper class, the probability that the children will take over in the future is also very high, so more people with the resources and possibilities of Ayanokaji-san can be cultivated. Therefore, it can still be corrected by civil law. However, no one has made such a proposal yet, so for Fujiwara Chika, it is still very embarrassing to be cheated on after dating. In other words, Fujiwara Chika is now in great disgrace. Then it is natural to regain face. So what to do? He could feel the gloating expressions from his classmates around him. After all, in the eyes of ordinary people, he did something very excessive. Fujiwara-senpai. Kinhua appeared at the door of the classroom. Oreki walked over directly. Oreki-senpai, I just heard some bad rumors. Fujiwara-senpai kept smiling. For example, my boyfriend is actually confessing his love to another girl. And what is this for, brother Gemu? Kinhua's expression was cute, but her tone was dangerous. In other words, smiling now is just for communication. But I was very dissatisfied inside. Even asking him what he was doing. Oh, that Oreki said. True. Because I accidentally fell down while staying by the window, but luckily nothing happened, and I gained some understanding between life and death. I thought a lot this morning, and it turns out that I am not worthy of Fujiwara-senpai. Senior sister has better choices. So I chose to quit, Oreki said. Futaba-ryo, a passerby onlookers. At this moment, Futaba-san is in the corner. Because she is wearing glasses and does not take the initiative to express herself, her presence is not high. However, she knew very well that Oreki did not fall accidentally, but on his own initiative. But she kept quiet. But the people around him were surprised by Oreki's words. Because Fujiwara Chika came to accuse him of cheating, but he directly showed that he wanted to quit. And Fujiwara-senpai, you understand, right? Oreki-senpai said. The gap in family background is too big, which is a very painful thing. Oreki is the adopted son of the Ishigami family, and the Ishigami family is only somewhat famous in the toy industry, but the Chika family is different. His grandfather also served as prime minister, which is indeed not at the same level. Most of the people around me are wealthy, and I understand very deeply that relationships with mismatched family backgrounds are unsustainable. At most, it's like breaking up right after graduation. And even if they don't break up, they will be boycotted by the stronger side of the family. After all, the upper class likes strong alliances. However, there are also people who hope to be able to follow the dragon and the phoenix, so they were surprised when Oreki quit on his own initiative. Is it because you are so honest? Although mismatched family backgrounds are very difficult, there are still people who can counterattack and succeed. Okinhua understood. I understand. I'm afraid this guy won't break up with her immediately after using her. Once you become popular, you'll just get rid of it. How infuriating. It's just that now that it's in public and everyone around is paying attention, it's hard for her to have an attack, so she can only maintain her appearance. So, you choose to quit? Kinhua asked. Yes, Oreki said. Fujiwara-senpai, let's break up. Kinhua. So, after I asked again, the other person still wanted to get rid of me, which was super annoying. That's really a pity, Kinhua said, then turned and left. Shinomiya Kagaya kept a cold, ice-like gaze, and then left with Kinhua. Students in Class D, first grade, witnessed a breakup. Only. Call. Oreki-kun, you did a good thing. Fujiwara-san is my goddess again. Let's just say, Kinhua-senpai is so cute, why do you want to date a boy now? Therefore, if this relationship is not favored, then breaking up will attract the attention of classmates. And there are many people who like Fujiwara Chika, so now Oreki-san is regarded as a good person. You really made a wise decision. And Ino said the same. Oreki then returned to his seat. He has no idea of developing a relationship. He is here just for the mission, and he is a missionary who has no love. However, I discovered Ichi-nose and Hashinomi-ya here, so I had to think about how to deal with it. Because the system explained before, you cannot come back to this world at will. It's equivalent to leaving after the mission is over. But in this case, the pressure is a bit high. Because, even if this is a parallel world, it feels strange, even unacceptable, to watch Archangel Ichi-nose being bullied or getting married to others. So, for Oreki, this is what bothers him now. And thinking about it, he took the roster from Hashinomi Yachiya and looked at it to see if there was anyone he knew. He's always been fast. Some key figures were immediately discovered. There is a senior named Mai Sakurajima in Class A of the 3rd grade. And there is a girl named Tomo Koga in Class C of the 1st grade. These are characters in which a pig-headed boy would never meet a bunny girl senpai. But that's not what Oreki is concerned about, and he doesn't know these people. As for Akyosei High School, in addition to Ichino-san, Oreki also saw an acquaintance, Maesumi Kamuro. But Oreki checked the list 3 times and couldn't find Kosake Anagia. It's a bit of a pity. At the same time, after Oreki read the list, he found that there were some small gifts on his table. It seems that after breaking up with Chika Fujiwara, the classmates spontaneously gave him small gifts to express their gratitude. Oreki. How much these people want him to break up. At the same time, it also reflects how popular Fujiwara Chika is, and she was probably elected to the position of student council president because of her legitimate popularity. Then the difficulty of bringing her down will also increase. Soon. The lunch break came quickly. Junior Oreki, do you want me to bring you some bread? A second-year senior came over and said. No need, Oreki said. I want to be alone. That's okay. The senior student left immediately. It seems that she also has a crush on Fujiwara Chika. It seems that everyone does not approve of your relationship with Fujiwara-senpai. Because of the lunch break, many students went to the cafeteria or the canteen, so the classroom suddenly became empty. A voice came from behind Oreki-san. It's Ryo Futaba. She was carrying bread. Oreki-san, on the other hand, was not prepared for anything. That's because Fujiwara-senpai's popularity is too high, Oreki said. So, it will be difficult to defeat her in the re-election of Student Council President at the end of this month. Futaba. You still have such an idea? Futaba-san. Oreki-san turned back from his seat. Saw the other party drinking coffee. Oreki. How? I always think your coffee tastes weird. Oreki. Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 702. Weird. Yes, shouldn't you be making coffee with a beaker? Drinking ordinary coffee in such a serious manner makes people feel uncomfortable, Oreki said. What kind of stereotype is this? Although I don't have a high sense of existence, I don't have such independent thoughts, Futaba said. But Futaba felt that it seemed possible. Because she seemed to have found a place and direction where she could relax. If you set up a club, such as a science club, you can make coffee in a beaker in the laboratory openly. Apostasy. So. Think about it. Futaba, who was thinking this way, heard Oreki Houtarou's voice. He raised his head and saw the other party's dark green pupils. How about becoming a close friend with me? For life. And it takes 3 people to form a club. I can join, and then help you recruit another person to make up the number. Futaba. Chapter 334. Is this how best friends are used? Although she felt that Oreki-san was very ambitious and his goal was to gain close friends, Futaba couldn't deny that she was a little tempted by Oreki's idea of forming a club. This school was not the one she wanted to attend, but her family asked her to come here. Only. Many students in this school are impersonal, selfish, and put profit first. So Futaba feels out of place here, but even though she is out of place, she will not take the initiative to stir up trouble, but instead lowers her sense of existence. But now Oreki's proposal is to give her a relaxing space where she can get away from these stinky and profit-related relationships. It's tempting indeed. Don't worry, after forming the club, I don't need to participate often. Then once the activity room is approved, the physics laboratory will be your free space, Oreki said. Futaba. Futaba confirmed that this guy seemed to know her somewhat. Could it be that as a classmate in the past, she paid attention to his affairs, but he actually paid attention to her? Only. If you want a close friend, I think Inoyako might be more suitable for you, Futaba said. What happened when you were in junior high school was that she couldn't accept the punishment the school imposed on you, so she kept asking the principal to argue. Then the principal of the high school heard about it, and then informed the high school student union, and then you got the permission from the high school student union. Finally, I can enter high school normally. So Ino may be the one who can help you. In other words, Futaba considers his best friend to be useful. This may not work, but Oreki-san said quickly. A creature like a best friend must be 2 leaves. Futaba. So what exactly happened? Futaba clearly felt that he had received high praise, but in his heart, he felt that he was not happy at all. But if I refuse completely like this, I feel that I have lost an opportunity. Futaba thought for a moment. Okay, I agree to your terms, but the science department, I hope you can get it done for me tomorrow. In other words, we need to find the 3rd student who is needed to apply for forming a club today, and be mentally prepared for the other person, and then. And this kind of thing is not difficult for Oreki. In fact, if you look at Oreki-san's desktop, you will know that because of his breakup with Fujiwara-senpai, many people are grateful to him, so just find one. Actually, this feels quite strange. Originally, Oreki wanted to take advantage of Chika Fujiwara's popularity to improve his own evaluation. After all, to become the boyfriend of the student council president, first of all, he must have passed the assessment of the student council president. Only. Now after the breakup, I found that the reputation has increased even more. So there are more choices for people to ask for help. In fact, it's not just these people. Oreki-san used Ishigami-Yu's skin, and Otomo Kyoko was involved first, and among Ishigami-Yu's friends, there were also people who always supported him. Therefore, as long as he makes a request, Big Buddha and Little Bowl should agree. It's just a small bowl for the Big Buddha. Oreki. Most people would consider Futaba to be the best friend. On the one hand, Futaba is really reliable and can often help. When you are undecided, double leave. At the same time, the friendship with Futaba can withstand the test, be maintained and will not deteriorate. And can anyone else provide this kind of friendship that will never deteriorate? Maybe. Oreki carefully read the story Kaguya-sama wants me to confess. The Daibutsukobo in it is the type who has been silently supporting Ishigami. Dabuto's parents are popular idol stars, and she herself is also very popular, but something happened later and her classmates talked about her. Ishigami said something to her that she should always remember. After that, he silently paid attention to Shishang, knowing everything about Shishang, and even had a very good impression of him. But she doesn't know how to go on stage, and she restrains herself very much. In the original work, she found good friends Ino and Ishigami, and even assisted them. That is to say, to a certain extent, she is also a candidate who can maintain a friendship that will not deteriorate. Oreki took over Futaba's task of forming the science club, so he needed to find a third member who agreed to join the science club. At the same time, he also needed to go to the student union to get an application for forming a club, and have the club members sign it and submit it to the student union. Approval. These are all things that need to be done according to rules and regulations. However, Oreki-san still had an accounting position offered by Chika Fujiwara, but he never reported it after entering high school. So now it's time to use your authority to complete the process quickly. Just when I was going to the student union office, I happened to see Ino and Daibutsukobo walking towards me from the other side of the corridor wearing white indoor canvas shoes. The Buddha wears big round glasses, has a bright forehead, and looks relatively silent and inconspicuous, but Ino has flaxen hair, delicate facial features, and excellent appearance. When the two of them walked together, they felt like flowers and green leaves. But judging from Oreki-san's eyes, this Daibutsu-san is probably the same type as Sakura-san, who looks like a super beautiful girl when she takes off her glasses. At the same time, her waist is very slender and her legs are also slender, which are both plus points. Although Ino looks very playful, she probably offended many people because she insisted on the justice she believed in as a member of the disciplinary committee, so no one would confess to her or be popular. Therefore, even in the class, I actually only have one friend, Big Buddha and Little Bo. Both of them are the type who usually carry lunch boxes. They probably went out to wash their hands just now, so the three of them met in the corridor. And saw Oreki-san. Oreki, you really made the right choice. It's a good thing that I haven't dated Fujiwara-senpai. Ino greeted him proactively. It can be seen that this guy is in a good mood. Fortunately, Oreki-san has no intention of pursuing the other person, otherwise according to the development of the original work, she is Ishigami's true love. And now Oreki uses the skin on the stone, so if he really gets close to Fujiwara Chika, then Ino-san may be the one crying in the end. Are you happy that I didn't get to date Fujiwara-senpai? Oreki said. Of course. Fujiwara-senpai is like an angel. I really never thought that she would fall into the topic of love, Ino said quickly. The speech is very fangirl. Sorry, Zyako admires Fujiwara-senpai very much, Daibutsu-san added on the side. It's not that Oreki is not suitable for you and Fujiwara-senpai. But Fujiwara-senpai is very good. She encouraged me when I was sad before, and her speech at the last student council president election also influenced me. Then I was invited to join the discipline committee. Ino defended, somewhat unconvinced. Fujiwara-senpai is indeed a good person, Oreki said. I asked my senior sister to pretend about this relationship with me, and it is natural to break up now. X2. The two of them looked over at the same time. I was kicked out by my father yesterday and rented a house outside, Oreki said. And the reason was because of that incident in junior high school. The two were taken aback. Is it so miserable? The situation is not bad, Oreki said. Because I am thinking about the future, I asked Fujiwara-senpai to improve my reputation. Otherwise, it will be difficult to imagine whether I can find a suitable job after graduation. This topic is a bit heavy. It's just that most of the students in this school are children from the upper class, and they also understand. Moreover, although Oreki belongs to the Ishigami family, he is only the adopted son of the Ishigami family. The so-called adopted son can inherit the family property if the host family has no children. However, if it is just an adopted son and the host family is dissatisfied, it is very common for him to be kicked out after adulthood. Therefore, if Oreki continues to bear a bad reputation, without the help of the Ishigami family after graduation, I am afraid, it will be difficult to find a job. Noticing the expressions of the two of them, Oreki-san continued. The topic is a bit heavy, but it's a new beginning now, isn't it? So from the bottom of my heart, I am grateful to Fujiwara-senpai. Because of his relationship with Fujiwara Chika and then breaking up, the Otomo Kyoko incident in junior high school has been overturned. Chika Fujiwara came in handy. So. Big Buddha Xiaobo suddenly said at this time. When you fell downstairs today, you went to confess your love to Hanamai Ichinos from Class A. Was it because you liked him? I liked her quite a bit, because she didn't get hurt when she fell. I thought I was lucky, so I gave it a try. But it seems that he scared the other person, Oreki said. That's for sure. I was shocked when I saw you fall, and then I came to find the teacher, Ino said. So you found the teacher. So. Oreki-san still has work to do here and is ready to leave first. Rather, he just deliberately talked to Ino and Daibutsu-san. If you want to run for student council president, you need a lot of votes. This happened in Yuchin High School, because points are the most important there, so you can just use money to hit it. But this Ziozi Academy is different. Most of the students here are not short of money, so spending money can only buy a part of the votes. If you have a good relationship with the students in your own class, you may get the votes of your class first. In addition, Ino and Daibutsu also helped in Otomo Kyoko's matter, so Oreki doesn't mind having a better relationship with them. But for now, let's complete the task of getting Futaba as a friend. So Oreki-san was going to continue to the student union, but when he was about to leave, he suddenly said to Daibutsu-san. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 703. Classmate Deifo, can we be friends? Big Buddha and Small Bowl. Ino looked at him strangely. Because we are all classmates, aren't they friends? I mean, the kind of best friend, how should I say? Oreki said. Many people believe that the friendship between men and women is false. As long as there is a gender difference, it will eventually deteriorate. But I want to find friendship with the opposite sex that won't go bad, Oreki said. So. Dabuto-san, can you never fall in love with me and maintain an eternal friendship, Oreki said. Futaba-ryo. Futaba-san had already finished eating the bread in the classroom and was about to walk out of the classroom. As a result, she heard Oreki-san's conversation just as she walked out. Tisk. This Oreki-san. He was obviously still seeking her to become his best friend, and he was talking about such things as best friends. Only one or two in his life would be enough. But before she fully agreed, he casually extended an olive branch to others. This guy really wants some close friends. And Futaba feels that Oreki Houtarou is a bit cruel. Because, occasionally, Futaba would notice Daibutsu-san moving his gaze in their direction. Futaba and Daibutsu-san didn't talk to each other very often. So she felt that Daifo classmate was not looking at her. Futaba's seat is behind Oreki-san. In other words, Daibutsu-san may have a good impression of Oreki-san. Then, now Oreki-san says that he hopes Daibutsu-san will become close friends with him and then never fall in love with him. I really don't know if he is a piece of wood or a devil. But Futaba thought it would be okay to become close friends with Oreki Houtarou. Because she felt that she could meet the conditions. Because she would never fall in love with Houtarou Oreki. Rather, this kind of person is only suitable for being friends. As long as he develops feelings like liking, it will become very troublesome. Futaba doesn't like trouble. Oreki, what you said is very strange. What do you mean by not being able to like you? In other words, why do you think Xiaobo will like you? Ino said first. Is it weird to fall in love with me? Oreki-san looked at Ino with dark green pupils. Her figure was reflected in Oreki-san's eyes. Ino. Being watched so intently by someone, and it's someone of the opposite sex. Ino-san is also resistant. After all, she is the disciplinary committee member, what kind of storms have she not seen? So. She showed a calm expression. Indeed, this guy is very good looking, a handsome guy, completely different from his usual gloomy state. He is an eye-catching handsome guy. Moreover, I don't know if it's an illusion, but I always feel that Oreki has a sweet smell. At the same time, the first button of his shirt was undone, and the skin slightly downwards from his neck was exposed. This guy is really white. And the collarbone. Indeed. It is not impossible for ordinary girls to be deceived by his good looks. But. Ino felt that his friend Xiaobo was definitely not such a superficial girl. Are you looking for a close friend now? Daibutsu-san glanced at his best friend who could not be beaten at all, and asked Oreki. And why do you think I would be a good friend? Because Daibutsu-kun is like a lonely and cold black cat, very different from others, Oreki said. Moreover, he knows where to stand and how to advance and retreat. This is something most people can't do. So that's how you see me. Daifo seemed to ponder for a moment. Okay, she said. Although I already have a close friend named Xiaoyazi, I am still vacant of a close friend of the opposite sex. So, it doesn't hurt to be your best friend, she said. And Oreki-san extended his hand. As a dear friend, shake your hand. Classmate Daifo. It's obviously just a way of making friends, but Oreki-san seems to be quite serious. So the Buddha stretched out his hand, and Oreki-san held it with her, but quickly let go. Then as a close friend, Daibutsu-san will agree to my small request, Oreki said. I want to form a club, but there is still a shortage of one member, so Daibutsu-san, please help me sign my name later. You can also be a ghost member, Oreki-san said. Big Buddha. This is what the best friend you just made is used for. Chapter 335 Shino Miyakagaya is as cold as ice. The office of the school's student union is placed in a separate two-story building, which is quite impressive. At the same time, the room is very large, and you need to go through a long corridor after entering the door. And as a member of the student union, you will also receive a partial living allowance every month. At the same time, because it is an aristocratic school, the amount of club funds that the student union can allocate is also very huge, and the school's clubs often engage in tit-for-tat, both overt and covert, in order to increase their own club's activity funds. It is said that a student from the outer college once served as the student council president, but due to uneven distribution of club funds, he was dismissed and sent to a foreign country to dig coal. Therefore, competition among societies is fierce. In this way, generally speaking, if a new society suddenly pops up, it is likely to be hindered by some chores when the application is submitted. So, Oreki-san chose to apply and submit it in person. Just when passing by the corridor of the student union, Oreki-san noticed a girl wearing bubble socks with a windbreaker jacket tied around her waist. It's November now. As the weather gets colder, many students will choose to wear some coats on top of their school uniforms. And Hayasaka-ai's image in school is that of a hot girl. So naturally he won't let go of these outfits that reveal his identity. But good-looking girls look good in anything they wear, even without a coat. Oreki-san just glanced at it and looked away. But what are you doing, Hayasaka-senpai? Oreki-san greeted him anyway. This is Hayasaka-ai. She was assigned to the same class as Shinomiya Kagaya and Fujiwara Chika. Hayasaka-ai. As Miss Kagaya's valet, Hayasaka-ai of course stays by her master's side as much as possible. And Oreki-san also knew that Kagaya-san should still be in the student union. So, he walked over directly. Knock gently. Dong dong. Please come in soon, a voice came from inside. It was a relatively cold voice. It should be Shinomiya Kagaya's voice. Although Zyozi Academy does not treat the school as a simulated society like Kyosei High School, but its social extent is more real. Because the composition of the students is very realistic, Zyozi Academy can be used as a springboard. If students with similar financial backgrounds can maintain a relationship or build a good relationship, it will be beneficial to both parties. At the same time, it would also be a beautiful thing if you could hug the lap of those big families, such as the Shinomiya family. Therefore, in addition to studying, most students are also very realistic. As a member of this school, Oreki-san can also consider living a good life by embracing someone else. It's just a pity that Oreki-san is only here to complete the mission. I am Houtarou Oreki from Class D, 1st grade. Oreki-san said as he pushed open the student union door. The door of the student union office is unlocked, and the student union welcomes students to consult at any time. Or, if you are closed, then you have to open the door and reduce the price. Oreki Houtarou. There are 2 students in the office. There was no trace of Chika Fujiwara, but Kagaya Shinomiya and a girl with short hair were seen. The girl looked a little soft, and Oreki thought she looked familiar. I quickly recalled the roster. She was a classmate of Shinomiya Kagaya and Fujiwara Chika, and her name was Kashiwagi Nagisa. In terms of family background, she is the daughter of the president of a large shipbuilding company and the granddaughter of a director of the Federation of Business Organizations. She can be said to be a first-rate daughter. In terms of academic ability, she is often ranked 4th or 5th in the grade, and she is a top female student. According to the difficulty of Zyozi Academy's teaching materials, his academic ability should be close to the limit of ordinary people. The reason why I say this is that as a genius, Shinomiya Kagaya has always been ranked first, and the points are always deducted by 1-2 points from the total score. That is, the kind of noodles with buckle rolls. That is the level of his Kosake Inagi, and Kosake Inagi's past health was not very good and he could not withstand so much training, so Shinomiya Kagaya's academic ability should be above Sakayanagi Yuzu. But now is not the time to compare who is a genius. What really makes Oreki-san pay attention to Kashiwagi Nagisa-san is that in addition to being Kagaya's classmate, she is also the creator of the word fei-chain miserable in the original work. The boy whom Shijo maybe likes confesses his love, and then they get together, and then let the arrogant maybe eat all kinds of dog food. At the same time, this classmate Nagisa Kashiwagi looks gentle and quiet, but in the original work he is a carnivorous person. If you date her, you will soon have to get a certificate because of pregnancy. Oreki-san is very familiar with this type of girl, the type he met Sato-san. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 704. So he labeled this type of girl as dangerous. This is Oreki-san. He is indeed more handsome than the rumors say. Nagisa Kashiwagi seemed to be here to consult Shinomiya-san. So I was sitting on the guest sofa. But she seemed to feel Oreki's gaze, so she took the initiative to say hello. She still looks a little green now, not yet fully mature. In other words, Kashiwagi Nagisa-senpai has not yet become a dog-eat-dog couple who hurts the true concubine. But Oreki still listed her as a dangerous person, so he just nodded politely and then looked at Shinomiya Kagaya. Shinomiya-senpai, isn't President Fujiwara a student? She has something to do at home and will go back first, Shinomiya Kagaya said coldly. This made Oreki glance at Shinomiya Kagaya. Shinomiya Kagaya's jet black straight hair now hangs down to her waist. It's a genuine ice sculpture. It seems that without Shirogane Gokia, Shinomiya Kagaya did not become a sand sculpture. Thanks to the care of Shinomiya-senpai and President Fujiwara, I was able to advance to high school, Oreki said. And will the invitation you promised to join the student union still work? Oreki inherited Yu Ishigami's legacy and also had the experience of the Otomo Kyoko incident, and the people who helped him were Shinomiya Kagaya and Fujiwara Chika. A good person will always stick to it, and they even invited Oreki to join the student union. But Oreki never came. But I also heard that the student union seems to have no real accountant. It is uncertain whether the position is still available. Of course what the Shinomiya family said will not change, Shinomiya Kagaya said. And the person who made this decision was President Fujiwara. For now, she hasn't made changes. However, if you can come to the student union and accept the position of accountant, then I can feel more relaxed, she said coldly. In other words, the accountant position has been retained, and the student union can still operate normally because she has been working. Excuse me, Shinomiya-senpai, Oreki said. I want to join the student union. Can? Shinomiya Kagaya stood up, walked to the student council president's desk, pulled out a form, and handed it to Oreki, seemingly asking him to fill in the information. Fill in your information. Then print out a list yourself and post it on the bulletin board, Shinomiya Kagaya said. It seems that business is done, but is this kind of thing done by the newcomers themselves? Is it to make things difficult? Of course, there is no denying that she might be helping Chika Fujiwara vent her anger. After all, Oreki-senpai dated in the morning, had an affair at noon, and then broke up with Chika Fujiwara during lunch break. Even a girl can hardly accept it? In other words, even in the state of an ice sculpture, does Shinomiya Kagaya actually care about Fujiwara Chika? Just like Oreki-san pursues becoming friends with Fujiwara. For Kagaya Shinomiya, Chika Fujiwara is probably also a very important friend to her. And there are no men now, so there is no need to regard Chika Fujiwara as a cancer on the earth. So, Nagisa Kashiwagi found that Oreki and Kagaya Shinomiya were doing serious work, so he stood up quickly. I'll take my leave now. I'll consult Shinomiya-san next time, she said. As for love matters, I think it would be better for you to consult President Fujiwara, Kagaya said. Well, this. In fact, Kashiwagi Nagisa wanted to consult Fujiwara Chika. Fujiwara Chika is known as a love detective, so consulting her is excellent. But Nagisa Kashiwagi also understands the atmosphere very well. Today, Chika Fujiwara has experienced dating, cheating on her boyfriend, and then breaking up. It would be impolite to ask her partner about love matters. Oreki-san followed Kagaya's request and completed the assigned task. And now that I have joined the student union, I will complete the work I have accumulated as an accountant. Saying this, Shinomiya Kagaya brought Oreki to a table. Then a 20 centimeters thick document was brought. Oreki. Oreki has determined that Shinomiya Kagaya is as cold as ice. How can anyone make people work continuously just after joining the company? The appearance of the ice sculpture made people keep working, and Oreki suddenly felt that she might be more suitable for sand sculpture. If she was in a bad state, then maybe she would do the work on her own. It's just that Oreki has other things to do. He came to accept the status of a student union member not just to do work. On the one hand, the re-election of the student union was about to begin, so taking a student union member first was considered as infiltrating the enemy. At the same time, also use the convenience of student council members. So he said straight to the point. Shinomiya, I want to form a club called the Science Club. Then I need to approve a physics laboratory as an activity area. The establishment of a club requires review. Originally this was the secretary's job, but I can help you review it today, Shinomiya Kagaya said. But now the school's club activities have limited funds. If a new club is added, if there is no one to support it, it is likely to be squeezed out. This is very realistic. The amount of funds approved by the school each year is limited, and then the student union has to distribute it to different clubs. If we add one more club, wouldn't everyone have less money? Therefore, it is likely to cause trouble. And for that, we don't need funds, Oreki said. I just hope to form a club and have an open space where I can relax from the tense spirit and the mask I have to wear in this school. Upon hearing this idea of forming a club, Shinomiya Kagaya looked up at Oreki and nodded. If there is no need for funds, then we can give you approval directly. Shinomiya Kagaya was as cold as ice. You can feel the lack of warmth if you get even slightly closer. However, after Oreki-san submitted the application form, she quickly pressed the vice president's seal. Then Oreki-senpai was assigned the task of posting the successful establishment of the science club. Since the purpose was achieved, Oreki-san quickly processed the documents on the table and then left. After he left, the small suite in the student union was suddenly opened from the inside. Has that stinky junior Oreki gone back? A head of a pink-haired girl wearing a bow popped out. Going back, Shinomiya Kagaya said. How did you come up with the idea of having a fake relationship with him? As a best friend. After Fujiwara Chika was unilaterally broken up by Oreki's junior classmate during lunch break, she directly revealed that she and Oreki were only in a fake relationship. However, he did not tell the reason why he agreed to fake a relationship with Oreki-senpai. If we break up, it will actually increase his popularity, Shinomiya Kagaya said. It's a nice touch. Chika Fujiwara is very popular. Although Kagaya thinks Fujiwara Chika is a bit silly sometimes, there are many people who like her type. You can often see boys confessing their love to her. And there are many love letters in the shoe cabinet. Therefore, dating first can heat up the atmosphere, and then breaking up quickly can gain the favor of Chika Fujiwara suitors. But what Shinomiya Kagaya didn't understand was that Chika Fujiwara was not a good person, so how could she easily agree to a fake relationship with someone? After all, it was something that would harm her reputation. It can only be said that I was confused for a moment, Chika Fujiwara said. How could she say that she was tempted by money? Moreover, when I was tempted by money, I also hoped that I could hang out with Kagaya-san and have financial support. It's just that he actually joined the student union. I can't figure out what he wants to do, Chika Fujiwara said. Oreki was kicked out of the Ishigami family and had to stay outside. For his own future, he needs to change his image and develop interpersonal relationships at Ziozi Academy. So choosing to join the student union is also a good option. But the student union will cease work at the end of this month and hold new elections. So her student union will be disbanded at the end of this month, so he chose this time to come in because he wanted to do something. Is it possible that he wants to run for the next student council president? Shinomiya Kagaya suddenly said at this time. Joining the student union will help him run for office. And what happened today has also brought him a lot of popularity. Nani, Kinhua almost jumped up. Is this guy so sinister? It can't be said to be sinister. It can only be said that he has the ambition to climb up, Shinomiya Kagaya said. After becoming the student president, you can get a letter of recommendation from the principal, and you can go to the university you want without taking the exam for free. This is also an opportunity to take control of your own life. Oh. That's it. However, after hearing what Kagaya said, Kinhua calmed down. Because Oreki told her that what she wanted was to be able to control her own future. So he needs to communicate well with other students in school, which is an interpersonal investment. However, if you can become the student council president, then if you can counterattack and gain a good future, then this guy is indeed quite naughty. Only this student council president, Kinhua thought. Be whoever you love. The reason why she ran for the first time was because the previous student council president was a student from an external college, and because of the uneven distribution of funds for the club's activities, he was dealt with by the club's people. So the position of student council president became vacant. She thought that if she could bring Kagaya-san to the student union, she might be able to get closer to Kagaya-san. Because since we have all joined the student union, we spend more time working together. She felt that as long as time piled up, the ice of Kagaya-san could be melted one day. And she has always regarded this as her goal. But only when I became the student president did I realize that there was a lot of work. Then Kagaya-san was implicated and had to do a lot of work. She was actually quite sorry. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 705. So at the end of this month, she actually doesn't plan to continue being the student council president. It's just that she worked too hard in the previous campaign, so her support rate did not drop. As long as the student president has not graduated and made no big mistakes, he will automatically participate in the next election. So she was also thinking about what to do. Because it's hard to find someone as popular as her in school, but that's not to say there aren't any, such as Kagaya-san. But Chika doesn't want to tire Kagaya-san. As a result, there is now a man willing to take over the mess. Isn't that a good thing? Even the dissatisfaction of breaking up without being informed by Oreki in advance was able to be dealt with. And the other side. Drop. Oreki-san clicked on the main quest. Main mission: bring order to chaos. Mission requirement: remove Chika Fujiwara's position as student council president. Mission period, 30 days. Mission progress, 50%. Oreki. Why did the progress suddenly increase so much? It's clear that we haven't even entered the student council president election stage yet. Only he has returned to the classroom. Most of the students have returned from the cafeteria or lunch break. Oreki returned to his seat, then turned his head and looked at his back seat. This is the certificate of establishment of the society. Oreki-san handed 2 documents with the words Science Department Establishment stamped by Student Council Vice President Shinomiya Kagaya to Houtarou. So, Houtarou-san, we are friends now. Houtarou clearly felt that when Oreki took the initiative to talk to her in front of the classmates, more people seemed to be looking at her. She is usually small and transparent, but at this moment, she turned into a big light bulb. Oreki Houtarou's popularity has skyrocketed today, like an incandescent lamp. So Houtarou couldn't help but shine when she came into contact with him. And is this how you treat your best friend? Houtarou suddenly felt that as long as she made friends with Oreki Houtarou, he might cause a lot of trouble to her. But looking at the document certificate approved by the science department that Oreki handed over, she suddenly felt that maybe it wasn't that bad. Because No one is so unlucky that he or she will always be troubled by the other party. Houtarou, who was still young, thought at this time. Chapter 336 Why can academic ability be so poor? Similar to the curriculum arrangement of Yuchin High School, there are only 2 classes in the afternoon and then the school is over. After school, those who have clubs can join them, while those who don't have clubs can choose to do free activities. Although he went to the student union at noon, Oreki finished the accumulated accounting work at noon, so he did not plan to continue going to the student union. After all, he has one more important thing to do now. That's making money. Between 10,000 and 10,000 yuan, so the cash he has now can already lead a very comfortable life. But don't forget, Oreki also stayed at a Kyosei high school for more than a year, and he had no intention of making his life difficult. So, the current situation is of course to get money first. If you were in incubation high school, the way to make money would definitely be to collect points, but now that you are out of society, you can just make money directly. The way to make money can be the most popular part-time job among high school students nowadays. But the money comes slowly and you have to work. Of course Oreki-san chose the most energy-saving cheat. You can also choose the direction of cheating, and you can directly use psychic divination. Psychic divination only needs to touch the object with the right hand to learn the thought information of the creature that has touched the object in the past or present. The condition for performing the spell is to touch the target with the right hand. If you cheat, you can use it directly on scratch tickets. Of course, you can also use the ability to restore. The ability to choose recovery can cure illnesses and repair damaged valuables. But that would require someone to happen to be injured or something valuable to be damaged. So, the best solution is still the old business of buying lottery tickets. He took his school bag directly and went directly to the nearest lottery shop according to the map on his phone. Drop. Do you use the ability of psychic divination? Yes. Oreki-san started searching on Guguake. The scratch-off lottery rewards are not very high. There are 2 scratch-off lottery tickets at the lottery store where Oreki arrived, one with a maximum prize of 10 million and the other with 20 million. None are very high. But one advantage is that the bonus is low but the amount is large. There can be 20 winners for the first place. And Oreki-san's goal today is not high, he just wants to achieve a small goal. And the other side. After school, Ino and Daibutsu Xiaobo started to take action. Both of them are disciplinary committee members, so they have the job of patrolling the school after school. Only. Walking in the school, Ino hesitated for a moment, and then said to his friend. Xiaobo, do you really agree to what Oreki said you would become a close friend with him? What's wrong with having a friend, said Deifo. Or, Xiaoako, do you think Oreki is a bad person, she even asked in return. However, this topic made Ino think deeply. How should I put it, he should be a reliable guy, Ino said. Besides, he took the initiative to break up with Fujiwara-senpai, didn't he? He is a good man, Ino said. Such a shining Fujiwara-senpai is dating a classmate. Don't do that. Classmate Deifo. I originally wanted to praise Koyoko for being good at reading people, but isn't she just a fan of Fujiwara-senpai? But, as someone who has been quietly paying attention to Oreki-san, Daibutsu-san feels that Oreki-san has changed a lot in the past 2 days. There is a feeling that has been silent for a long time and suddenly rises. And how much do you know about Houtarou? Daibutsu asked. Futaba? Is it Houtarou who became a close friend due to Oreki's strong request? Ino said. I was in the same class with her in junior high school, and we were classmates in high school. But what should I say? I suddenly realized that although we were classmates, we didn't have much contact with them, Ino said. Is her sense of existence that low? And as a member of the disciplinary committee, I feel that I can no longer see her wearing a school uniform that does not meet her size. It's so strange. It's obvious that hot girls always change their skirts to shorter lengths, but she likes to wear school uniforms that are one size larger and are not suitable for her, Ino said. Then he showed an expression of incomprehension. So Xiaomitzi doesn't understand people's hearts at all. The big Buddha and little Bowl sighed softly. And the gate of Xiaozi Academy. The work that was supposed to be completed was completed by Oreki's junior, who came over at noon, and Shinomiya Kagaya was able to leave work early. So I got in the car that came to pick me up. Then I picked up Hayasaka Ai at a place not too far away. The master and servant sat in the back seat of the car together. The atmosphere is a little cold, but both Hayasaka Ai and Shinomiya Kagaya are used to it. Hayasaka Ai was placed next to Shinomiya Kagaya when she was 6 years old, as her personal maid. 11 years have passed since we first met. And as time went by, Miss Kagaya became extremely outstanding in all aspects because of her genius, talent, and hard work. It's just that he looks very cold because of his excessive rationality. Like ice. And Miss Kagaya received a tutor from the Shinomiya family and used people as tools. So it seems very inhumane. It will be more painful to get along with her. But Hayasaka can accept it. When Miss Kagaya makes a request, just show your strength and value. Hayasaka. At this time, Miss Shinomiya suddenly spoke. Hayasaka Ai quickly paid attention. She is the universal maid. While Kagaya-sama is undergoing training and courses to become excellent, she is also training to become an all-powerful maid. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 706. Therefore, the hardware configuration and skills in various aspects are also rated very high. Strive to meet all the requirements of Miss Kagaya. What do you think of Oreki Houtarou? His performance today is a bit different. According to what I know about Chika Fujiwara, she is not that easy to talk to. She can't just pretend to be in a relationship with someone to increase her popularity. So how did Oreki make her sacrifice her reputation? That's all, but Miss Kagaya spoke again. Oreki Houtarou is just the adopted son of the Ishigami family. And according to him, he is not valued by the Ishigami family. There's no value in contact. 2. The Shinomiya family, to which Miss Kagaya belongs, is the most noble in the school, and even has the power and financial resources to order the prime minister. Therefore, the people who want to contact and use it are also people from the upper class circles. And these are all for the sake of whether they can bring benefits to the Shinomiya family and then contact them. Yes. Junior Oreki's performance today is indeed eye-catching, but the Ishigami family behind him looks okay. It can be regarded as a new family that has risen in recent years, but in the eyes of the Shinomiya family, it is still not enough. Not good enough, that is to say, not worthy of being used by the Shinomiya family. Contact is also a waste of time. So, Hayasaka Ai remained respectful and continued to look at her phone. Da. She replied while looking at her phone. Shinomiya Kagaya originally wanted to close her eyes and take a rest, but she also noticed that Hayasaka seemed to have been controlling her mobile phone since she got in the car. She knew that although Hayasaka Ai was her valet, she would not show it actively, but would use the image of a hottie. In order to maintain the image of a hot girl, she also made friends with other students and formed a group with 2 hot girls in the class. And these are all to protect her secretly, and also to secretly collect information on various students. And for these purposes, maintaining interpersonal communication naturally requires some efforts. So it's often necessary to chat with her little gang of hot girls. Only, don't you think today's chat is a bit much? Hasaka, Do you spend so much time on ordinary social interactions? Shinomiya Kagaya began to ask. Shinomiya Kagaya also has a mobile phone, but she has natural flaws in mobile phone appliances. So I still use the flip phone I got in kindergarten, and I don't have many friends. So chatting with friends is almost impossible for her. Even if Chika Fujiwara wanted to come to her house or go out with her, she would always talk to her in school. So, for Kagaya, she rarely uses her mobile phone. Then, she is not very fond of the touch-screen phones Hayasaka and the others are using now. But Hayasaka has been checking his phone today, which is a bit too much. I'm chatting with Oreki-senpai, Hayasaka said. He discovered the status switch between my maid and an ordinary student this morning. Is it? Kagaya is still in the state of an iceberg. But I also feel in my heart that this junior is indeed a unique person. She also participated in the resolution of the previous matter involving Otomo Kyoko. The other party can. Moreover, she has a clear understanding of Hayasaka's strength and insight. Although Hayasaka is also a human being and needs time to switch states, the fact that he was discovered by the other party so directly shows that the other party has two tricks. But totally do not understand. Since Oreki-senpai could catch Hayasaka as her maid, why couldn't the other party handle the Otomo Kyoko incident better? Then he made a request, Hayasaka continued. Hopefully I can help improve his popularity. And now, he has made new demands, Hayasaka said. Any request? He was hoping to get information on 2 students. 2 students? Yes, one is the specific situation of Hanami Ichinos from class A of the 1st grade, and the other is the information of a student named Maesumi Kamuro from class A of the 3rd grade. And it needs to be done as quickly as possible, Hayasaka said. And these words caused Shinomiya Kagaya's mind to quickly search for information about these 2 students. Hanami Ichinos, a first-year student from Class A, is a student from the outer college. Because the test score reached Chichi Academies. Enjoy free tuition and uniform fees. He has a gentle and friendly personality, but he has always been ostracized because of his status as an outsider. At the same time, although she was admitted to Zyozi Academy, don't forget that most of the students at Zyozi Academy are children whose families have resources and have received elite education since childhood. Therefore, although her results may appear to be excellent on the outside, but when I arrived at Zyozi Academy, there was still not enough to see. As for the results of the latest monthly exam, she ranked 130th among the 160 students in the grade. So at most they are girls with good personalities, good looks, and good figures. So what attracts Oreki? Kagaya has already deduced that Oreki Houtarou's goal is the student council president election at the end of this month, so whether he joins the student council at noon or uses Chika's boyfriend to break up, it will ultimately build momentum for him to run for the election. So, the reason why I am still so eager to obtain information about Ichinos and Kamuro is probably for the election. Only, Shinomiya Kagaya doesn't think Ichinos can help Oreki in the election. Then Maesumi Kamuro. Kamuro Maesumi's words, Shinomiya Kagaya said. I don't have much impression of her. She only ranked 160th in the monthly exam. Rather, she was the last one in every exam. Maesumi Kamuro Hayasaka I read out the information she collected. Sister from class A of the 3rd grade. My academic ability is very poor. I am always the last in the class. At the same time, my grades are also very bad. The maximum score in each subject cannot exceed 20 points. Sometimes I'll even take single-digit exams, said Ai Hayasaka. However, her parents are both famous painters. And the principal of our high school is her uncle's second aunt's cousin's younger brother. Oh. Shinomiya Kagaya nodded. In other words, I got in through connections, and then, because of connections, I was able to successfully advance to the high school with such poor grades. However, I always came in last place in the exam, so my mental endurance may be quite strong. And what Ichi knows Hanamai said was the person Oreki senpai confessed to during lunch break. Hayasaka AI continued to report. This also revealed that Miss Kagaya seemed to be interested, so she tried to figure out her master's psychological response. Is it? In other words, Oreki senpai obtained the information of these two people. One is a crush. And another Kamuro Maesumi, because of a long series of relatives, was finally able to get connected to the principal of the high school department. In Ziozi College's student council president election, candidates need to obtain the first review from the principal. Therefore, if he cannot be approved by the principal, he will not be able to participate in the election. Therefore, is the purpose of obtaining information about Kamuro Maesumi just to establish a relationship with the principal? True. If you want to be elected, the first step must be to get the principal. But now that Oreki has grasped Hayasaka's weakness of having a maid and the school's hot girl Hayasaka AI, can't he just let Hayasaka do the work? Hayasaka is her valet. Although she is only a maid, she represents Shinomiya Kagaya and the Shinomiya family. Therefore, there is no need to build relationships, but directly use the identity of the Shinomiya family to pressure the principal to obtain the principal's approval. Then there is no need to go to such trouble. Of course, Shinomiya Kagaya didn't understand that Oreki-san's desire to obtain information about Kamuro Maesumi was not because he wanted to have a relationship with the principal, but because she has a close friend, but Futaba is the one being consulted, and she is not asking Futaba to work. And when it comes to work, both he and Kosaka Yanagi are used to Kamuro Maesumi, who works hard and never complains. So, since there is an acquaintance like Kamuro-san in this world, it naturally makes sense to get in touch with him again. He is an energy saver. Chapter 337 Differential Treatment. This is differential treatment. Up. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The street outside Ziozi Academy. Is the milky green ice cream you ordered prepared for dine-in or takeaway? In a milk tea shop, the waiter was talking to a girl with long purple hair and long legs. Takeaway. This girl looks expressionless and seems to be a loner. Compared with others who go shopping with friends after school, Kamuro Maesumi is alone. Yes. She is a loner, but it's not that she has no friends, it's that she doesn't like to make superficial friends. Because it would take time to deal with the other party. She has no such interest. Then as a part of Shichi Academy. In terms of her family background, her parents are both famous painters in the art world. For example, her father's highest masterpiece, a single painting, even fetched a price of more than 30 million. And one person can't just paint one picture. In addition, her mother is also painting and creating, so her family is not short of money. Then there are relatives who serve as high school principals at Ziozi Academy. This family background is indeed not bad. But that's only good for ordinary people outside. Only when you really come to Ziozi Academy will you know how terrifying the students in this school are. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 707. The children of some mafia or police boss. The children of various organizations involved in huge amounts of money, the granddaughter of the former prime minister, and the eldest daughter of the head of the Shinomiya family, who is extremely wealthy and even the current prime minister's financial backer. It can almost be said that these students are the next generation of this country. Therefore, Kamuro-san is a bit stressed when comparing the differences. And your parents also hold this idea, and they are still instilling in you recently that you are about to graduate, so you have already dealt with the interpersonal aspects after graduation. If you can have contact with the children of rich and powerful families, it will be good for your future development. Friend. Networking. She is now a third grader and has yet to speak to all the students in her class. Only 2 things happen this coming month. First, there is an election for the student president. Secondly, there is the monthly exam in 2 weeks. The first piece of news has nothing to do with her. She is already in her 3rd year and has nothing to do with the student union after graduation. And the second one is the exam. It was very painful for Kamuro-san. She has some level and talent in sports and painting, but she is really not good at studying. Even my parents hired teachers and managed to make up some extra classes. But the difficulty of Tsuji Academy's textbooks, exams, and class content are much more difficult than those outside. So even after tutoring, she still came in last. Not only that, she was taking extra classes, and then she also discovered that the person in the bottom place was also taking extra classes. In other words, others are also secretly reading too much. And now, this time in the monthly exam, I will come in last again. And thinking about it, the clerk had lowered her order of ice cream, milk, and green milk tea. Kamuro walked out of the store directly after taking it, but something strange was that as she walked out of the store, a boy with short black hair and dark green eyes walked into the store. Kamuro then walked to the left, while the boy walked to the right. Kamuro walked to the right, so the other party walked to the left. Because the two parties are facing each other, isn't this the other party blocking her way? Who are you? Kamuro then stood still. Oreki Houtarou from Class D, 1st grade. What do you want to do? Kamuro said. You obviously don't have any friends, but you are still so good at gathering information, the boy with dark green pupils who blocked her way said. I just appeared in this image today, so you know me. The divine room. In fact, that's not the case. She knows the other party's information, and it should be the credit of the students in the class. Because the 3rd graders are about to graduate, and after graduation, most of the girls in the class come from either rich or noble backgrounds, so it is basically impossible to get married or have their own freedom in marriage. But not many people objected. Because you enjoy the financial support of your family, you must also pay for your family. Just accept it, and there are some small considerations. In other words, after graduation, some of them may have to make an engagement with someone from a similar family background and join forces. Fiancés and the like are all chosen by the family for themselves. After graduation, you may have to get married. So, during this deadline, some students want to be a little wild. So Kamuro discovered that the girls in the class were recently collecting lists of handsome boys in school. Then Oreki Houtarou, who became a famous figure in the school that morning, came into the eyes of the 3rd-year seniors. Even though Kamuro doesn't fit in with the group, she is still in the class. So I saw someone posted a photo of Oreki Houtarou. Indeed. Judging purely from appearance, this junior is very attractive. Only the one who is interested in her is Bai-chi in the class. Why does the other party want to block her now? None of this is important, but this Oreki Houtarou said. Kamuro-san. It will be 30 days from now, Oreki said. How about doing something for me? Maisumi Kamuro. Kamuro-san frowned. First of all, I am your senior, so you can't call me Kamuro-san. Don't you have any basic honorifics? Kamuro-san looked slightly unhappy. In fact, the real unhappiness means that the other party actually wants her to do things. Hey, you are just a stinky junior. At most, you may be better looking, more delicate, and have a bit of fragrant smell on you, but you are not qualified to ask others. I'll do something for you, and I'll do it for a month. The monthly exam will be in 2 weeks. But this junior said, Senior Kamuro's academic ability is very poor. She always comes in last. Haha. Maisumi Kamuro's sullen face seemed to finally smile. But this laugh is sarcastic. You said that I did poorly in the exam, and Oreki-senpai, think about your own results. Your results are not that good either. Then I didn't get last place in the exam either. It's better to say that Kamuro-san always comes in last in the exam. Kamuro-san's mental endurance is really strong, Oreki-san said. The divine room. I won't talk to you anymore, you're blocking my way now. Kamuro already wanted to leave. After all, her weakness was exposed, and although she kept a straight face, she felt quite embarrassed. Her academic ability is obviously above average in ordinary schools outside because of tutoring. But when I returned to Zyuozi Academy, I was ranked last. Some can't stand it. I have a method that can quickly improve academic ability, Junior Oreki said. At the same time, if I ask you to do 30 days of work for me, it won't be in vain. 100 million. Oreki-senpai said. This is your reward. Let's not talk about your parents' money, but you actually don't like painting. So, don't you want to pursue the life you really want after becoming financially free? Junior Oreki continued. But this made Kamuro Maesumi hesitate. Because her own people knew about her, she really didn't want to inherit her parents' mantle. She prefers the athletics side of things. She joined the track and field team in junior high school, but her parents asked her to quit because they wanted her to spend more time painting. Drawing, 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 she gets annoyed when she sees the drawing paper. So this Oreki Jr. is right on this point. She actually doesn't want to inherit her parents' mantle. But the other party's request must never be agreed to. Because even the students of Zyuozi Academy cannot spend 100 million casually. If you want to spend money, you must at least get the approval of your family. So Kamuro looked at Oreki. Stop making fun of me. I don't have time to play truth or dare with you. In other words, she thought Oreki would come here and stop her because Oreki was just playing a game. Then you choose to destroy yourself, Junior Oreki said. I'll go to the store to buy a cup of milk tea. If you want to take charge of your own life, just wait for me outside. With that said, he made way and went directly into the store. Give me a cup of poplar nectar. It's also a package to take away. Okay. The clerk is a part-time high school student. But just now, the boy with dark green pupils smiled at her, which made her heart beat faster. It's a pity that the other party is wearing the uniform of Zyuozi Academy and is an existence that he cannot touch. Zyuozi Academy is an institution that all high school students aspire to, but the threshold is very high. It is a place where the children of rich and powerful people study. Ordinary people also have the opportunity, and can even study for free, but the academic requirements are very high. So, wearing the uniform of Zyuozi Academy means that you either have excellent grades or your family is extremely rich. And these really have nothing to do with her. This is your nectar from the poplar branches. Oreki took the milk tea and left. He went to cheat after school and visited several stores before finally gathering a small goal. So prepare to reward yourself. When I walked outside the store, I found a tall girl with long purple hair and 2 hairpins standing beside the wall. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 708. This is very Kamuro Maesumi. Kamuro-kun in this world is a third-year senior, but her academic ability is still as poor as ever. As for the family situation, it has been somewhat improved. However, in terms of personality, he was still similar to the Kamuro classmate he knew. With a bit of rebellion, and then there's M. Still the same conditions. Oreki said. If you don't want to accept your family's arrangements, you must have the ability to resist. And if you do something for me, I will give you 100 million in a month. Although I don't know where you investigated me, Kamuro said. It's okay to promise you to do things, but I want to see the cash. Is it? I want to accumulate finances. This is the same as seen in precognitive dreams. In order to accumulate 1 billion in funds to maintain his own economic foundation around Kosake and Agia, Kamuro worked hard without complaint. And now, it's the same. If you want to have some financial foundation, then even if you fall out with your parents in the future, there is still a way out. Then come with me, Oreki said. The two of them got on the train heading to the next area. And Kamuro looked at him strangely. I bought all the scratch tickets in this area, and now I have to go to other areas, Oreki said. Oh. Kamuro understood. What Oreki Houtarou said is that if you have money, you have to buy lottery tickets. Haha, people with this kind of thinking can't make money. She was already in a bad mood because of this junior, but now, she really wanted to see him lose money. So, Kamuro followed. Then, after getting off the tram, the two went directly to the lottery shop on the station square where the station became to buy tickets. Under Kamuro's gaze, Oreki Houtarou touched a large stack of unscratched lottery tickets with his hand. Then 10 scratch-off cards were drawn from it. Buy these 10 scratch-off tickets, Oreki said. One scratch ticket is 500 yen, and 10 scratch tickets are 5,000 yen. If you don't have one, 5,000 yen is already a month's pocket money for an average high school student. Kamuro's family, on the other hand, does not have so many restrictions. Her parents hope that she can connect with rich children and open up social relationships. So the pocket money given to her every month is 100,000. And it's only the beginning of the month, so I have plenty of pocket money this month. Only. Here are 10 scratch cards for you. And here's the change. The clerk put away the 10,000 notes handed over by Kamuro. Then I got 5,000 in change. In my hand, I held 3 4,000 yen bills that the clerk had found and 2 coins. Kamuro suddenly found himself a little depressed. Because it was her money that was spent, and what she couldn't understand even more was that she actually followed Oreki Houtarou's instructions. This feels so weird. And thinking about it? Hurry up and shave, Junior, Oreki said. It seemed to be urging. The divine room. Snort. I lent this to you, Kamuro said. No need, I'll give it to you if it hits, Junior, Oreki said. And if you lose money, I will pay you 5,000 points. The divine room. So I have no idea what he is working on. Kamuro followed the request and began to scratch the lottery tickets. Scratch the color, scratch the color. Congratulations, one of the 10 scratch-off prizes won 5 million yen. One of them won 2 million yen. Then there were 2 winning tickets worth 1,000 yen. The total is 7,002,000 yen. The clerk came over quickly. Then asked the boss for instructions. The location here is a station, and there is a lot of passenger traffic around it. When seeing someone winning the lottery, the store manager will certainly not break his promise. It would be better to say that I am ready to make a poster with the winning information and put it on the door to make my business more prosperous. The store manager took out some banknotes from the store. But the amount is not that much. Transfer the money to her, Oreki said. She paid for it. So the winning amount is also given to her. Tell me your bank card number, Oreki said to Kamuro-san. Kamuro-san followed the instructions blankly. Then, Oreki pulled Kamuro Maesumi outside. It wasn't until he arrived at a family restaurant that Kamuro-san slowly came to his senses. Chapter 338 Differential Treatment. This is differential treatment. Next. Your account with the last number 3455 has an income of 7,002,000, the transfer party is 4,562, and my wife's current bank balance is 7.1135 million. Maesumi Kamuro. Sit in the booth and look at the text messages on your phone. Kamuro-san just wants to make a 6 to Oreki-san. Because when you said you would pay 100 million to hire me, do you mean scratch off lottery tickets to pay me? Kamuro-san complained. I'm very lucky, Oreki-san said. As long as you buy lottery tickets, you will win, ranging from hundreds of thousands to 20 to 30 million. So paying you 100 million is just a matter of buying more than a dozen lottery tickets, Oreki said. The divine room. Is it? It seems mysterious, but is this possible? But Kamuro took out his mobile phone and once again confirmed the bank information deposited on the mobile phone, and then walked to the cashier of the family restaurant. It seemed that he ordered a few dishes and then proactively showed the QR code for payment. After paying for the order, Kamuro checked his cell phone. Soon. Your account with the last number 3,544 spent 6,900 yen, and the current balance is 7.1066 million yen. The divine room. In other words, I was not deceived, but actually received the scratch-off bonus. And the 10 scratch-off tickets she went to buy were also chosen by Oreki Houtarou for her. Maesumi Kamuro then returned to Oreki-san. She sat face to face with him. Are you so lucky, she said. Of course this is an extraordinary phenomenon, Oreki said. This is something that only happens to a few teenagers and girls. When the other person is under great pressure and cannot bear it, extraordinary phenomena will appear in teenagers or girls, and this phenomenon is called puberty syndrome. If you have friends, you can check them out through the internet. Extraordinary events are often circulated. However, as Oreki-san said this, he immediately noticed that the expression of Kamuro-san sitting across from him seemed to be tense. Because she has no friends. However, Oreki did not deceive the other party with this statement, because this was a setting in a world where the pig-headed boy would not meet the bunny girl senpai. The world of the pig-headed boy has been integrated, and Futaba appeared. So, Oreki has no doubt that Futaba may split into two in the future, or some other supernatural event may occur. Yes. It's just right to pull over the setting of puberty syndrome. In this way, when you discover some extraordinary things in the future, you will not be too surprised, and Kamuro can help. At the same time, it can be regarded as a vaccination in advance. So will Kamuro-san believe it? Then Oreki heard the other party's voice. Then what do you want me to do? Kamuro-san said. Now that it is confirmed that the money arriving in the bank card is real money. And the way to get it is to buy lottery tickets. Although she thinks Oreki's statement is unreliable, there is extra money in her account to buy lottery tickets. So even if the other party and the owner of the lottery shop jointly defrauded her, the 7 million is still cash now. But I accept the deal with you, Kamuro Maesumi said. But you have to take me to buy lottery tickets every day for the next week. You can stop when you have enough funds of 100 million. That's okay, Oreki-san didn't care. However, I have raided the lottery stores near our school. Although I have the luck to win the lottery, it is not good to win in one store. So I have to go to other places. After all, I don't want to be sliced up, Oreki said. And if you are in urgent need of money now, I can transfer it to you first, Oreki-san said. Then I took out a bank book that I had just applied for a short time ago. There is no interest for depositing money in Japan, but many people still choose to deposit in banks considering the safety of their funds. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 709. Kamuro Maesumi's eyes glanced at Oreki's opened book. Pupils dilate slightly. Because what you see above is. On May 22, the account balance was 100 million. 100 million. The divine room. Suddenly, it felt like Oreki Houtarou's story about winning lottery tickets if he was lucky was true. Because even though Houtarou Oreki is the adopted son of the Ishigami family, he will not give him 100 million casually. I will work for you for the next month, Kamuro-san said immediately and wisely. It's just she seemed a little curious. How did you awaken this ability to buy lottery tickets? It probably appeared 2 days ago, Oreki said. I was kicked out by my father. And then there's the status of just an adopted son. So the probability of being purged and leaving the house is very high, so I am a little worried about lack of money. Then I went to the lottery shop to try my luck, Oreki said. The divine room. Can extraordinary things happen when you are stressed? Moreover, this super everyday ability is still so down to earth. If you are short of money, you will win every time you buy it. So. Kamuro-san thought to himself. I have always been there. She also felt pressure inside herself. So would it be very different if I also suffered from puberty syndrome? And thinking about it? You should make some plans in the next 2 days, Oreki said. Find a way to get in touch with Hanami Ichinos from Class A, 1st grade. Get to know her well, and then take her to buy scratch tickets. As for the amount, it's about 50 million. You think of a way to make her win. Ichinos Hanami. Kamuro Maesumi suddenly thought that Oreki Houtarou jumped off the building during lunch break today and confessed his love to a first-year girl. And that first-year student was dug out by everyone and was the star of Class A in first-year class. Hanami Ichino seems to be an easy person to get along with. In terms of identity, he is a student from an outside school. For students in the inner courtyard, the best way is to unite with each other and embrace the thighs of students who are better off than themselves. Therefore, no matter how outstanding the children of ordinary families are, they are of little value to these people. Because only strong alliances can survive, and ordinary people, no matter how good they are, can only work for them. Because she herself was assigned such a task by her family, she knew very well what the average inner courtyard student thought. And now, Oreki Houtarou wants her to take Ichinos to buy lottery tickets. To be precise, he wants to give him money. That is to say, Oreki Houtarou actually wanted to help Ichinos Hanami. Do you like Ichinos Hanami? Kamuro-san asked. Because in addition to jumping off a building to express his love today, Oreki also had a scandal with Chika Fujiwara. Then there were also breakup rumors. Chika Fujiwara is not only the president of the student union, but also has a very wealthy family. Her grandfather was the prime minister and was very close to Kaguya Shinomiya. That is to say, Oreki Houtarou may have given up an opportunity to reach the sky in one step. If you like it, I don't understand, Oreki-san said. But it's definitely not okay to just watch her live such a life. Is it? Then you want to help the other person. And this time. Did he? Oreki received a text message on his cell phone. Since Kamuro had already ordered a meal, Oreki planned to eat here first before going back. So I took out my phone and checked it. It was a message from Chika Fujiwara. Senior Kinhua sent him 16 text messages today. However, some of the previous text messages basically asked him what he was thinking and why he wanted to break up. Then the last message he sent just after school was that she accepted his challenge and had the ability to shoot her. So what is she talking about? But the message sent now is: the matter of Zyogui's father that you mentioned before has been taken care of. Dad replied to me. Our family will not be involved in specific matters, but we can issue a letter of introduction to Zyogui's father. Once he has the letter of introduction, he will apply for the job. Also, Zyogui's father is actually quite good. As for the letter of introduction, I will give it to you tomorrow by Chika Fujiwara. It should be said that she deserves to be Chika Fujiwara. Oreki was surprised when he found out that Fujiwara Chika was actually the student council president. I think the school may take pills. However, now he has withdrawn his evaluation of Fujiwara Chika. Although sometimes unreliable, Fujiwara Chika is still very good at work. And the thinking is also careful. Although she was entrusted with the task by Oreki, she also went to investigate Chiragana's father before entrusting him with a letter of introduction from his father. Then it's up to you, Oreki texted her. Also, it's my problem that I didn't inform you about today's interaction in advance. Chika Fujiwara. Oreki is already on the chat software with Chika Fujiwara, because it is troublesome to make noise when sending messages all the time. In chat software, you can also use pictures, emojis, and emoticons. Then naturally you can see that the column of the other party's name now displays inputting of words. Only after about 30 seconds did Chika Fujiwara send the text. It's so tiring to act with you by Chika Fujiwara. Give me your letter of introduction tomorrow and I will give you the 200,000 in cash I promised you by Oreki. Kinhua. Are you sure you still want to give me money? Didn't they break up? Oreki, it's considered a date after dating for a long time. Kinhua, it's just a fact that you were kicked out by your family. Oreki, wait a minute. Oreki-san then snapped a photo and sent it. It's a passbook prepared by myself. Oreki, look up puberty syndrome on the internet. I will definitely win every time I buy lottery tickets these 2 days. This amount was accumulated after school today. Oreki, I suspect that I am suffering from puberty syndrome. Oreki, I'm not sure whether this will happen to you in the future. Although it seems unlikely, this world is a fusion world of comics and comics, so it is possible for Chika Fujiwara to trigger puberty syndrome. So give each other a vaccination. To be precise. Oreki, the information I found is that when adolescent boys or girls encounter great psychological pressure, extraordinary phenomena may occur. Oreki, so I suspect that I fell into the state. After all, as an adopted son and being kicked out of the house, I was under a lot of psychological pressure. Oreki, if you want to get more information, you can consult Futabario in the future. Chika, Futabario? Kinhua, let me check the roster. She is a classmate in your class. Is there something extraordinary happening to her? Chika didn't believe it at first, but the photo of the bank book Oreki sent was outrageous. Because that's 100 million. And it looks like the date was saved more than an hour ago. Is it so outrageous? Although her family is not short of money, if it is a small goal, it cannot be taken out casually. And Oreki was just the adopted son of the Ishigami family, so he basically couldn't get this money. Therefore, if Oreki Houtarou was not a liar, then she probably believed him. In fact, I do believe it. Because it was true that Oreki jumped off the building at noon. But not injured at all. Although it was rude, it looked outrageous. In other words, the other party is indeed very unusual. If we use the term pubertal syndrome, which has been widely circulated recently, it may be explained. But he was short of money and then he awakened the ability to win every time he bought. This is very enviable, isn't it? Only. Oreki, there shouldn't be any extraordinary phenomena in her yet, but there's no guarantee that they will happen in the future. Oreki, so if she encounters difficulties in the future, I hope you can help. Oreki, and if you encounter any trouble, you can consult her. She should be able to help. Kinhua. Kinhua, that's right. Oreki, and you probably don't have to worry, but Shinomiya senpai, you need to be careful. Chika, Kagaya-san. Oreki Houtarou's Strength First Classroom. Author, Yu Yet. Chapter 710. Oreki, the higher you stand, the higher your heart will bear. Oreki, so if there is someone else who will cause puberty syndrome, she is a very likely candidate. Kinhua, I wanted to refute you, but I couldn't refute it for a while. Because Chika and Kagaya have been friends since junior high school. Kagaya's friends have come and gone, but she is still there. Although Kagaya is like an ice cube, Kinhua knows that Kagaya is a good person. I don't want to see such a good boy without anyone to talk to. So she always stayed by each other's side. At the same time, she also knew that Kagaya-san must be under a lot of pressure. So Oreki's reminder made her take notice. Kinhua, then. Oreki-senpai, if Kagaya-san also causes puberty syndrome, what phenomenon do you think she will cause? Oreki, probably a split. Kinhua, split. Oreki, isn't she under a lot of pressure? The phenomena that cause extraordinary daily life are a kind of manifestation of escaping from the difficulties one faces, and the ice sculpture-like state that Shinomiya-senpai is showing now is not her true face. Oreki, she seems to be absolutely rational now. I think she may have split a different personality to take over in order to relieve the pressure in her heart. Oreki, and the current ice sculpture is a sign that she has begun to relieve stress on her own. Kinhua. Thousand flowers. Kinhua, humph. I hate you. Oreki-san looked at the message sent by Chika Fujiwara strangely. Because why did he suddenly lose all his friends? But Chika Fujiwara also quickly gave the reason. Chika, I can't accept that someone knows Kagaya-san better than me. Oreki-senpai, you actually competed with me over Kagaya-san. Oreki. Absolutely. Oreki retracted his evaluation of Fujiwara Chika. This guy is still a fool. Chapter 339 Reward Yuzusaka Yanagi for wearing black stockings. Up. And the other side. Maesumi Kamuro remained quiet after confirming the deal with Oreki. She originally discovered that Oreki had received someone else's message and then started chatting with the other person. Then it might be over soon. As a result, I chatted with the other party for more than 10 minutes without ending. And during this process, he ignored her. In other words, it is indeed like this, treating her as a work tool. Snort. So what if she looks pretty? It's not just about using people as tools. After finishing contacting Fujiwara Chika, Oreki looked at Kamuro-san. The task has been entrusted to you, and you can start completing it in the next 2 days, Oreki said. The Divine Room. I see. Yet Oreki nodded. Although Maesumi Kamuro still had a sullen face, her face was familiar to Oreki. Although she looked reluctant, she still showed that she would go to work. It seems that even in a parallel world, there are things that Kamuro-san will not change. This is really reassuring. Then at night. After Oreki returned to his house, Chika Fujiwara took a bath and started to contact Nishimiya Kagaya. Kagaya-san is not very good at electronic products. So she usually contacts Kagaya-san's butler first. That was Kagaya's valet whom I met at Kagaya's home. He had a bob, glasses, and black hair. He claimed to be a refugee of Irish descent. He was very elegant and looked quite reliable. Chika, Hasaka-kun, has Kagaya-san been acting weird lately? Hayasaka AI. Hayasaka AI is Kagaya's personal maid, and she is a hot girl in school, and she has a good relationship with Fujiwara Chika. You can often strike up a conversation. But the news that she was Kagaya's maid was actually hidden even by Chika Fujiwara. It's just that Chika Fujiwara is very attached to Miss Kagaya and often wants to stay here. So she had to face Chika Fujiwara. In order to hide her identity as a maid, she disguised herself. And this disguise was to directly dress up as a male butler. As a result, Fujiwara Chika has come to the mansion where Miss Kagaya currently lives more than a dozen times, and she has not discovered her true identity at all. However, he exchanged mobile phone numbers with her as a deacon. Actually, Hayasaka AI's evaluation of Fujiwara Chika is very exaggerated. She is probably unpredictable, unable to read, and makes the scene a mess without knowing it. She has all the information about the perfect maid so that she can do all kinds of things to Miss Kagaya. Hayasaka AI, who is proud of her support work, is a natural enemy. But she also knew that there was no one around Miss Kagaya, and if Chika Fujiwara was willing to stay, it would be a good thing for Miss Kagaya. It's just because the opponent's thinking can't keep up, so Hayasaka AI has to be very alert when facing the opponent. And now, suddenly asked her if Kagaya's condition had changed. Hayasaka, Ms. Fujiwara, what are you referring to? Chika, that means, Kagaya-san has split into several pieces, for example. Chika, like a cold side, a cute side, and then a passionate side. Wow, no matter which Kagaya it is, I want it. Hayasaka. Hayasaka AI then held the phone and held it tightly. Because she confirmed again that she clearly recognized the words sent by Chika Fujiwara, but she didn't recognize them at all when combined. Hayasaka, Ms. Fujiwara, could you please describe in detail who you met today? Chika, Hasaka-kun, have you ever heard of puberty syndrome? Hayasaka, are you saying that high school students will save the world or cause supernatural events? Chika, Hasaka-kun, you also know, yes, that's it. I want to say, is Kagaya-san also experiencing puberty syndrome? Kinhua, if she splits into several parts and it becomes difficult to handle, then I can help. Chika, I will try my best to take in 1 or 2 Kagaya classmates. Of course, it's not that I won't take in too many Kagaya classmates, but I can only hide 2 of them now. Hayasaka. Finally got it? Hayasaka AI feels that Chika Fujiwara is really difficult to deal with. His thinking was too exaggerated, and he actually brought the rumored paranormal events to Miss Kagaya. Hayasaka, there is nothing unusual about Kagaya-sama right now. Kinhua, that's right. Hayasaka AI. I always felt like I was aware of the obvious disappointment. Is it just that Kagaya-sama is split into several types? In this regard, Hayasaka AI is actually also interested. Because she has been Miss Kagaya's attendant since she was a child. Then, in her eyes, she could see that Miss Kagaya had different personalities in order to cope with reality. For example, it is usually like an ice sculpture. This is a state of absolute rationality. Then if you get sick, you will become cute and very easy to act like a spoiled child. There is also a state that occasionally appears similar to the 8-year-old Kagaya without desires or other adulterations. In short, Miss Kagaya has no abnormality at present. And Miss Fujiwara, who did you get this news from? Rather, who did you see something extraordinary happen to? Hayasaka AI is very smart and feels that although Fujiwara Chika is difficult to deal with, it does not mean that the other party will ask about unreasonable things. That is to say, are extraordinary things really possible? Kinhua, well, actually there is none. But Chika Fujiwara chose to remain tight-lipped. Then quickly added. Chika, anyway, please tell Kagaya-san that if she needs help, then I will definitely help her. Then, if you can't do it, then go find Houtarou from Class D, 1st grade, and maybe you can get help from her. Is it? Houtarou. Class D, 1st grade. When thinking of Class D of the 1st grade, Hayasaka AI quickly realized that Houtarou Oreki was also in Class D of the 1st grade. In other words, Houtarou Oreki has mutated. The person who truly experienced extraordinary phenomena was Oreki Houtarou. Then Chika Fujiwara learned the news, and then she became worried about Miss Kagaya. And Hayasaka AI looked at the explanation of puberty syndrome on her mobile phone. Puberty syndrome is an urban legend patients may suffer from paranormal phenomena such as hearing other people's voices, seeing someone's future or someone's personality swapping with someone else. Go to the internet consultation message board about this. There are countless other similar cases. Normal psychiatrists assert that this is the self-identification of an unstable heart due to sentimentality. Self-proclaimed experts say that this is a new type of panic symptom born in modern society. After investigating, ordinary people who watch the show put forward this should be some kind of mass hypnosis opinion. Some people say that this kind of mental illness can also be caused by some kind of pressure between the ideals depicted and the reality that fails to come true. The common thread is that no one takes it seriously. Most adults think this is just overthinking and let it go. Written content is also shown. But the most likely thing is caused by stress. And Miss Kaguya Hayasaka AI knows very well how much pressure Miss Kaguya is under. The more outstanding a person is, the greater the pressure will be on her, because the more effort she has to make.